Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. If your Speed Queen washer is displaying error codes like DL Florida or DR and refusing to work, you're in the right place. In the next 15 minutes, I'll walk you through the six most common fixes that solve 90% of these problems. Good news is, most of these problems are actually pretty straightforward DIY fixes that can save you a service call. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. So the most common issue I see with Speed Queen washers is door lock problems. You'll know this is happening when you see error codes like ERDL, DL, EDL, or EDL1 on the display. Basically, the washer's telling you the door didn't lock within 15 to 20 seconds, or it unlocked during a cycle when it shouldn't have. Sometimes the machine just won't start at all, or the drum refuses to spin. Here's what you do. First thing, close that door firmly. Really give it a good push. Check around the latch area for any clothes or debris stuck in there. I had this customer last month who couldn't figure out why her washer wouldn't start. Turned out a sock was wedged in the door seal. If that doesn't fix it, you'll want to inspect the door lock mechanism, the latch, and those wire connections for any damage. Sometimes a quick power reset works wonders. Just unplug the machine for about 30 seconds and plug it back in. Water fill problems are another biggie with these machines. When you see FL, EFL, AirFL, or NF on the display, your washer's basically saying it can't get water or didn't reach the right fill level within 30 minutes. You'll notice the tub stays pretty much empty even though the cycle's running. The fix is usually pretty simple. Make sure both your hot and cold water faucets are turned on all the way. I can't tell you how many times I've been called out just to turn on a faucet that someone accidentally shut off. Next, check those fill hoses for kinks or bends. Sometimes when you push the washer back against the wall, you'll crimp a hose. Also, look at those little screens where the hoses connect to the machine. They get clogged with sediment and need cleaning. If water's still not flowing after all that, you might be looking at a faulty water inlet valve. Drain issues show up as DR, North Dakota, EDR, or Air Daughter on your display. You'll know you've got a drainage problem when there's water sitting in the bottom of the tub at the end of a cycle, or you hear a buzzing noise but no water's moving out. Here's how we tackle this. Start by unplugging the machine to reset it and clear that error code. Then check your drain hose for kinks or blockages. Pull the washer out and take a look at that hose running from the back of the machine. Make sure it's installed at the proper height too. These Speed Queen washers have a drain filter or foreign object trap that can get clogged with coins, hair ties, you name it. Check your manual for the exact location and clean it out. Sometimes it's something as simple as a bobby pin jamming up the pump. Load balance errors pop up as UB, UE, EUB, or Air UB, and you'll definitely know when this is happening because the washer starts shaking and vibrating like crazy, or it limits the spin speed. The machine's trying to protect itself from damage. Stop the cycle and redistribute those clothes evenly around the drum. Don't try washing one heavy item by itself, like a single towel or a big comforter. The washer needs balanced weight to spin properly. Also, check that your machine is sitting level on the floor. Those adjustable legs can work loose over time. For front load models, just open the door or hit the power cancel button to clear the error once you've fixed the balance. Power failure errors show up as PF on the display, usually after a power outage or if someone unplugged the machine during a cycle. If the washer was in delayed start mode, that delay gets cancelled too. This one's pretty straightforward. Check that the power cord's plugged in securely and take a look at your circuit breaker to make sure it didn't trip. Once power is restored, you can restart the cycle. Just press the power cancel button to clear that PF error and you should be good to go. These are the more complex errors. You'll see codes like ER, ESP, ERR, ERCO, or sometimes all the status lights start flashing. This means parts of the washer aren't talking to each other properly. Could be a communication failure between control boards or just a general system hiccup. Try unplugging the washer for about 15 seconds and plugging it back in. If the error keeps coming back, you're probably looking at a loose wire connection between the user control and the main control board. For coin-operated models, an ERR error usually means there's something stuck in the coin mechanism. If system errors keep happening after a reset, that's when you might want to call someone like me. These can get pretty involved. All right, so Speed Queen washers are pretty reliable machines, but when they do act up, it's usually one of six main culprits. I'm going to walk you through these from the most common to the least common, starting with door lock problems that'll stop your washer dead in its tracks, then moving through water fill issues, drain problems, and a few others. Each one's got its own telltale signs, so we'll cover how to spot what you're dealing with and get it sorted out. The lid switch and door lock assembly are the most common parts I replace on Speed Queen washers. You're looking at about 50 to $100 for these parts, depending on whether you need just the switch or the whole lock mechanism. Part numbers like DY614660000SQ or 205222 for the door lock and 204696 or 205578 for lid switch assemblies. These are definitely worth fixing. They're moderate DIY repairs if you're handy with basic tools. The switches are usually easier to get to than the lock mechanisms. You can find these parts at appliance parts dealers or online. Just make sure you got the power unplugged before you start working on them. For water inlet valve failures, you're looking at around $40 for the part. Part number 205547P is common on these machines. This controls the flow of hot and cold water into your washer. Before you replace the valve, though, check those hose screens I mentioned earlier. They're only about $10 or $15 and way easier to replace. The valve itself is a moderate repair. You'll need to get inside the machine where the hoses connect. Not too difficult if you're comfortable with basic plumbing connections. Drain pumps run anywhere from about 30 to $100, depending on the specific model. Part 205217P is pretty common. Here's the thing though, a lot of times what looks like a failed pump is actually just a clog. Before you buy a new pump, try cleaning out that foreign object trap and checking the drain hose. If the pump's actually bad, you'll hear it buzzing, but no water moves. This is a more involved repair. The pump's usually at the bottom or rear of the washer, so you're going to be doing some disassembly. For vibration and balance issues, suspension springs and shock absorbers are pretty affordable. You can get spring legs for about $8 and leveling legs run around $17. Part numbers like 22003 428 for leveling legs. These are easy DIY fixes. The leveling legs just screw in and out to adjust the machine height. If your washer's bouncing around, check these components before assuming you need major repairs. And before we wrap up, you can see right there on your screen some of the most common Speed Queen models that run into these issues. Take a look. You might even spot your own model up there. I've seen everything from the FF7 front loaders to the TR7 top load models, plus various commercial units. The good news is most of these fixes apply across different model lines since Speed Queen keeps their designs pretty consistent. Here's your action plan. Start with the 5-minute fixes first. Check door locks and water valves. These solve about 70% of Speed Queen error codes. If those don't work, move to the 10-minute drainage checks. Most of the time, you'll have your washer running again within 15 minutes without spending a dime on service calls. Most of the time, one of these solutions will get you back up and running without spending hundreds on a service call. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your Speed Queen washer working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.